So let's talk about player ratings for this epic win by Northampton over Leinster, over the might of Leinster, all those internationals. This really was one of the most amazing wins in European Cup history, Champions Cup history, whatever you want to say. And I really wanted to do a follow-up to do the scores, but also to kind of put right what some of the comments said in the match report that I came over a bit negative. And sorry if that was the case. I was absolutely buzzing off this game. I was just trying to get into that technical analysis, that kind of coach's eye, that you'd look at all the things they could improve from both sides. So yeah, no, really Northampton had an amazing performance. Not perfect technically, but that's irrelevant when it's such an amazing game like this, such a big win. So many apologies if I upset anyone. That's not the intention, just trying to be quite analytical on this channel. But let's get stuck into these players here because they did absolutely amazingly well for Northampton. Let's start with these Northampton players because I thought Manuel Yogan, Trevor Davison in the scrum were absolutely epic. You know, they're up against these internationals, Healy, Furlong, Porter, Slimani's come on and they more than held their own. They did really well there. Yogan is looking like he's really stepped up to the plate and he should be going on that England tour in the summer and I think it'll be amazing if he does. And Davison, that underrated tight head, did what he had to do and really gave them hard in the scrum, didn't give an inch. And Langdon is like an extra flanker all around the park. He's never going to be the biggest guy making those big carries, but goodness me, he is again at the breakdown amazing with some big tackles as well. So an 8-7 and an 8 there for the front row, who I thought really stood up. And the subs who came on held their own as well. I don't think they made a massive impact because they were kind of hanging on a bit with yellow cards at the end, but certainly that starting front row was fantastic. Second row, Amine Vanua did what he had to do. He's a big guy. He's getting the bulk in there in the scrum. He made a few mistakes, so I think that brings his score down a bit, but a pretty decent shift from him. But the standout second row was Alex Coles. Again, kind of a coming-of-age game because he's been decent for England for a while, but we saw everything in this game. He was the standout second row in the game up against Archie Sneyman, up against Joe McCarthy, and that is really high praise there. He's got that physicality now to add to his athletic ability he already had. Amazing in the line-out, big tackles, big turnovers. This was one of the best performances. Maybe I should bump it up to a 9, actually. We'll see. I might leave it at an 8, but really good. Let me know if you think it should be a 9. Josh Kemeny, well, interesting, he did some amazing things, charge downs, turnovers. He was looking class, but then he did that slight error, just catching Slimani a little high. He did dip, it wasn't too bad, but that has to bring down his score a bit because it could have cost him the game, but it didn't. But apart from that, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Then on to the man, Henry Pollock, and the reason why he is special and why I've been saying he's special since under 18s is because he is special and he's going to get better, of course. He's going to make mistakes, but we can see every game he stands out. And that's not just chance. You can't do that every game and not be a great player. And he's only 20 years old and he can score tries like we saw, just rounding Prendergast like no one's business. And he's absolutely everywhere, trying to do all the dirty work as well, trying to get those turnovers, big tackles, energy giver, and he plays the whole game. A 20-year-old that plays the whole game in this Champions Cup semi-final. That says it all. No, his opposite number, Van der Fleer, was good as well, but Pollock was outstanding, and it was the question, can he step up to the big stage with the big boys? Yes, he can. Should he go on the Lions tour is the question. Well, all I would say is, like I said in the match report, if he was picked, you'd be excited to watch him, and he's a different sort of player, and you need different types of players. Did I give Augustus a hard time in the match report? Maybe, but he's made a lot of errors in that game. But I love Augustus. He's a great player. He's going to be badly missed, but a big shift in. But I think a 6 is probably about right there. Into the backs, and Alex Mitchell was the energy man, moving around the pitch, quick. That's how he plays best. He did drop one high ball clanger, I guess. But when he plays at a high place, he's a really, really good player. And that was a smart game from him. Talking of smart games, Finn Smith showed the whole range. He had a sick line from out to in for that Tommy Freeman try. And then he has his kicking, his tactical kicking, his goal kicking, nice long one from 50 metres, and his passing. And he's a good tackler, good all-round game to say to Andy Farrell, I am the man, I can do the lot in the big occasion. Well done to him. Gave him an 8 there. The centres, really good game for the centres. They outshone their opposite numbers. The nuts and bolts, the tackling, the passing was all really good. Dingwall, the glue player, Hutchinson made some big plays as well. So again, outshining Henshaw and Ringrose is no mean task. So well unto them. And then in the back three, I've given Tommy Freeman a 10. Why the hell not? An amazing performance. A hat-trick, for goodness sake. big shuddering tackles, amazing in the air. He is a superstar. When he started for England, we knew he was good, but I think everyone was a bit worried, including myself, that maybe he didn't have quite the pace, but he's improved his pace over the last couple of years and showed it again in this game. Outshone James Lowe, which is again no mean feat, so let's just give him a 10 because it was absolutely stellar. James Rahm is a good fullback. Like I said in the match report, he doesn't have that amazing pace or power, but he's in the right place at the right time, so 7 for him. And Litchfield did his job on the wing. He's a centre playing wing, had to stand in there, made some big tackles, made some mistakes as well, but out of position, I thought he did pretty well. And then I've talked about the front row stepping up and not taking a backward step. And one more guy who I thought had a big impact was James when he came on. Obviously replacing the first choice Mitchell, but did really well at 9. Big clearance kick, gained about 40 metres when there were a tight scrape at the end. So some big performances from Northampton. Let me know how you'd score them. Don't worry too much if it's within a point or two. But if there is a big difference, let me know why. I'd love to know. Then on to Leinster. Just such a disappointing game for them, considering they are packed with internationals who've had massive performances in the past. But it just didn't work for them. Healy had to go off early, so that didn't work. Porter had to play a lot of the game and was okay. Porter got pinged badly for coming around the scrum once. He's athletic, but again didn't shine. Sheehan normally scores a bucket load. He's normally all over the place, tearing it up, but he couldn't do that as Northampton really kept a lid on this Leinster attack most of the time. Furlong didn't make a big impact in the scrum like you'd like. The second rows were both disappointing. Sneyman as a 4, maybe he's a little low because he's good in the line out. He's a big dude, but his USP is getting his big offloading going, which makes those breaks, and he couldn't do it as Northampton just harried and harried and harried. Same with McCarthy, couldn't make those big busts. He was trying to hit some lines, didn't work, got sliced apart in defence a couple of times. No, pretty impressed with Deegan. He was good, created that first try all over the place. Van der Fleer, the pick of the forwards. Again, I think a really good game from Van der Fleer. If everyone wasn't just talking about Pollock, which of course I am as well, you'd say Van der Fleer, one of the standout performers, got some tries, good over the ball, strong as an ox. Really good for Pollock to watch Van der Fleer and compare himself and see where he does stuff maybe slightly better. Doris, a quiet game for Doris. Yes, he got pushed over for his try, but if you were to say one of the players on the pitch is going to be a Lions captain potentially, you probably wouldn't have picked Doris in this one, so pretty quiet from him. Gibson Park was fairly handy, give him a 6. He's very good with his service normally. Couple of bad passes, I guess, but fairly decent. But the disappointing halfback was Prendergast. Tried to do his little run-out plays, got caught, got clobbered. His kicking is one of his best points, and that really wasn't on point out of hand or at goal. Some of his passing wasn't on, and when that's not happening, he doesn't have a whole lot else, to be honest. So something to bear in mind there. Is he going to go on the Lions tour, or is it a bit too early? Did this game just break that for him? That would be interesting. Now, centres, like I said, were a bit disappointing as well, and it has to be a big error that they didn't start Geordie Barrett. I said it at the beginning of the match report. That was the thing I couldn't really believe, because Barrett is world-class. He's a world-class player, whether he plays in the back three or in the centres ideally, and to leave him off the pitch, to start with, isn't great. He could have been playing a whole 80, and that could have made a big difference, as Henshaw and Ringrose just couldn't cut through. A few good plays from Ringrose, but not their best games. The best back, though, was O'Brien. I thought he was outstanding, powerful, pacey, good in the air, looks really hungry. He's going to be fantastic on that summer tour for Ireland and could, come into the starting team with a 23 come next year. Lowe was okay, one good 50-22, but just shown up by his opposite number, Freeman, who showed to have a bit more power and pace in this game and was just involved a lot more. So, 6 for Lowe, he was fine. And Keenan started well with some good high balls coming into the line in attack, but faded a bit, made some errors. So by his standards, not his best game. Kelleher, I thought, added some impact, and Baird particularly was pretty impressive off the bench, some nice hands out wide, and Barrett tried to make it happen, but just wasn't on the pitch for long enough, I don't think. So very disappointing for Leinster. They will think they could play a lot better, but Northampton were just at them all day and scored some absolute worldies, some brilliant individual performances there. And let me know what you think in those comments down below. And sorry once again to Northampton fans if I was a bit too down in that match report. I was trying to be all analytical, but absolutely loved the game. Thrilled for these Northampton players. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you next time.